What's up, everyone? Into the Starfield Episode 3, The Sound of Adventure is here. In this one, Bethesda Game Studios had two panelists, composer Inon and audio director Mark Lampert. They provided some interesting insight about music and other sound in Bethesda games. Now let's break down 5 things from this video. Starfield's composer Inon told an interesting story about his work on Fallout 4's music. That's true, and I remember during a Fallout 4 visit, which was actually 2012, I was wandering through the corridors and I basically stumbled into the artist's room. It was the first time I actually saw them do what they're doing. I was captivated. I was like, wow, this is really what it is all about. And I felt so inspired and motivated, basically to go back and do the same thing with the palette of music. This gives us some insight into his creative process, at least for Fallout 4. He absorbed what the concept artists were producing and attempted to capture the feelings that their artwork gave him through a different sense, sound. He did a terrific job of doing just that in Fallout 4, and I think the main theme he's created for this game, Starfield Suite, is a perfect reflection of the concept art that's been shown thus far. Starfield has been described as Skyrim in space, and Starfield Suite gives off that exact vibe. Starfield's audio director, Mark Lampert, explained why he likes starting with the main theme. I relax a lot once we feel good about the main theme because the rest is it'll be work in iteration, but it's going to write itself. So once they have the main theme, they kind of branch off of that to get more music. What it sounds like to me is that essentially they take those feelings that the main theme encompasses and they add more feelings, then they recapture all those feelings as sound again. A good example of this is the Tread Carefully track. It encompasses the basic tone of Fallout, but also has the feeling of mystique to it, which makes it a perfect track to play when the player is exploring a new place and isn't far from danger. Inon then started describing what he was trying to capture in Starfield's music. He used Starfield Suite as an example by humming parts of it. He then summed it up in a sentence. We will find something, we will discover something, we'll take it with us, and we will go back home with it. This sentence is beautiful because it's exactly what astronauts attempt to do. Starfield Suite captures this notion perfectly by making each half of a chord a reflection of the other half, which is what Inon was demonstrating with his humming. It's symbolism in sound. Later on, Mark Lampert made an observation that most Bethesda fans can relate to. The music has a funny way of playing the right chord change at the right time, and a lot of that just happens at random. You look over the valley at just the right moment, and that just happens to be when this one chord change happens. And there are times like that that feel scripted, and they're not. And I like that each player has that experience for themselves personally. I, for one, understand exactly what he's talking about here, and have experienced it many times in Bethesda games. Off the top of my head, a good example is when Of the People for the People is playing and the faster part of the track ends right as you're about to start talking to an NPC. Like he said, it feels scripted, but it isn't. It's like magic. Inon then concluded by describing music's role in Bethesda games. I believe that the game is a whole experience and music is part of the whole experience. I believe that the best music in a game is the music that you don't hear, music that you feel. This is something that is bigger than us. I mean, so many people worked on this game, and so my wish is that specifically the music will be present in a way that is going to magnify the entire experience. I think that's a very accurate summary. The different aspects of Bethesda games like combat, music, and dialogue aren't separate experiences. They're complementary components of one experience. Players feel it all as one. He describes music's role in the experience perfectly. You don't hear it, you feel it. A perfect example of this is combat music. How many times have you been walking through the Commonwealth when you suddenly hear, "Found you!" and combat music starts up just the right amount of time after that line? Just like Inon said, you don't hear it as much as you feel it. It goes, "Found you!" Then you think, "Oh no," and you feel a sense of urgency to draw a weapon. One Bethesda game that, in my opinion, doesn't do a good job of using music to reflect the game's tone is Oblivion. I do like Jeremy Soul's tracks, but when it comes to Oblivion, I don't think that game's music captures the sense of impending doom that the main questline is going for, and the result is you end up hearing it but not feeling it. I wonder if Jeremy Soule feels the same way because the music he created for Skyrim is spot on perfect, and it reflects the game's tone extremely well. That concludes this breakdown and analysis of Into the Starfield Episode 3, The Sound of Adventure. Thank you for watching, please subscribe, like, and share, every bit helps this channel grow.